That is not a female.
No, it's a girl.
No,
That's
that's
your
not a
flashbang.
female. That is not a female. Bro got
She
a
doesn't look
dink.
like.
Bro got testosterone. Ain't no estrogen in that body. That's straight testosterone. He can lift a truck. Not even a truck. He can lift your whole block, like the whole block that your house is settled on. He can lift that
Oh my.
whole thing into the sky over his head and do this.
Oh
He is
my.
stronger than the Hulk.
Oh, you gotta play through. You gotta play through.
All right, are you ready, my good sir? Are you ready for the start of this episode of this lovely, lovely podcast?
No, not yet.
Well, if you're not, too bad, because we already started. Anyway, y'all.
F you.
No, F you. What's up? Welcome there, good people. I'm
You.
fine. Apparently, I'm allergic to oranges now. That's nice. But into the podcast topics. Let's jump straight into them. But first, we're gonna start off with Fernando Titus Jr. So, from what I heard, long story short, this man really had to apologize for being too good at the game. Imagine being so good at the game that you're winning for your team and you actually have to apologize and say, yo, my bad, I'm so good at this game, and that you're trash at this game, and be for real serious. Like, imagine that. 2020. Remember back in non-2020 when if you were good at a game, people would say good job, but now in 2020 you have to apologize for it. That's crazy. Anyway.
Sorry, pussy. I'm sorry, beat you.
Anyway, to proceed with regular topics. What were you about to say?
No, it's just what you just like the. Like how long has it been? Actually, no, because I don't know about baseball. That's what. And what you just said was like.
No, basically he started. Basically,
you
he started getting like a lot of home runs back to back, and he had to apologize because like from what I know, they haven't said it like he's on steroids or he's been performance enhancement boosting or anything. He's just like good at the game, so they're like, why are you so good? I don't know. That's just a little funny story I wanted to add. If y'all want specific details,
the thing is, I'm questioning, was it serious or something? Was it considered controversial?
Yeah, that the controversial part is that he had to apologize for being good at the game. That's what I'm saying.
Complain or something?
Yeah, people were complaining. People were complaining about how good he was, but there's no nerfs in real life. So anyway, on to some more serious topics. Some little couple mini topics before we start getting into the meat and potatoes and start talking about some games and stuff like that. Let's start off with a lighter topic. You remember how with the Xbox 360, remember how like you can move the shell of the Xbox and get custom ones, like whenever they release custom Xboxes and things of that nature, so that you can make your Xbox look different, like back in the 360 days.
Give me a second. I never know that. I didn't know that before. I don't know. I never changed the design of my Xbox. I just never did. So.
Oh, well, reportedly, now this is still rumor. That's why I'm saying like it's kind of iffy. This is still rumored, but it is believed that you'll be able to do the same thing with PlayStation 5 faceplates, like the two white plates on the side that make it look like a router. It's believed that those will be removable and that they might start selling like custom faceplates and things of that sort, so that you could remove them and customize your PlayStation 4. So how you feeling about that?
The PlayStation 4 or which was console actually?
No, the faceplates. The ability to remove the faceplates.
Which ability to remove it, like customize it and make it what you want?
Yeah, like customize it, take them off, period.
Well, that sounds good. You want it to be something that you want. You want to put a different color, different custom design. That's good. Not make it like what you just bought. You know,
True, true.
if that if it was built like if the company built it like that to make it customizable for the people for the user to change the look, then yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Another thing. Oh, okay. That's just my computer. Let me try to see if I can lower the quality. I don't know. No. All right. Anyway, another thing I kind of like about that idea is that let's say the faceplates are too big and you want to fit it in a smaller space, you may be able to take them off so that it could fit better. I also like the idea of that. But besides that, and like what you said about how it may be more designs, I like that. Oh, another thing I just thought about too is like, you know how like there's sites like Etsy and stuff like that where people make custom things for like just custom design things and things of that nature. I think like there'll be a business on like Etsy and DeviantArt for custom designs and things of that sort that people could like make and sell. So it might be pretty cool to like buy those if the faceplates really are removable. That'd be like a really cool idea, like a really cool thing that could happen as like a byproduct.
So have you done that before? Have you customized your console before?
No, not really, but it could be a cool thing to look forward to if the faceplates are removable. That might be nice. But for the last mini topic, Fortnite was actually banned off of the Apple and Android app stores because
Monopolistic, just to say.
since hold up.
That's one of them. Like they called that Epic Games called them out.
Yeah. So
they're resisting competitors, innovators, things of the sort. So that's why they're suing. That's why Epic Games are suing Google and Apple.
all right, so
That's one.
that's part of it, but hold on. Let me give the basic explanation for those out there who don't know. So basically, what the Google Play and Apple Play Store, I heard it was more Apple Play Store than Google Play Store, but Google Play Store, they took it off more as like a byproduct of what happened to Apple and not necessarily Google directly. I heard from the information I was given and the information I found, it was more Apple than Google, but they kind of removed it from Google because of like they had to. So you know how like for V-Bucks, Fortnite skins, dances and stuff like that, you have to like buy them with real money. So what the Apple Play Store and Google Play Store were doing, where they were saying, okay, you can put your app on our platforms, but we have to like take a little bit of the profit from that, like take a little bit of the profit out of that. They was like, we want a little piece of the pie. Epic was like, okay, but apparently they were taking about, I don't know the exact number, but about 30% of the income that Epic was making off of each sale was how much was going to Apple and Google Play. And in terms of business, that's a lot. Like usually 10 to 15% is the highest you want to go, and they were taking a whole 30. So let me put it like this. Let's say they sell $7 million. Let's say they sell $10 million in skins. Off the rip, Apple would be getting about $3 million of that. So and we're not even counting tax and things of that sort. So that's about $3 million that Apple is getting off the top before we even calculate taxes and stuff of that sort, which is a lot. So what Epic started doing to try and combat this and kind of act this is they kind of put a feature in the game where, let's say the regular cost for the skin and whatnot was about $10, and Epic said you could pay through Google Pay or pay through Google Play, or pay through Apple's monetization system, or you could basically send the money directly to Epic for like $2-3 less. So like I said, if the regular skin was $10, Epic was like, you can pay $10 and send some of the money to Apple, or you can pay $7 and just send all the money that we're gonna get straight to us. And if you really think about it, as expensive as those skins could get, you really think somebody's gonna pay the higher price for a $10 game skin? Like, no, they're gonna go pay the lower price, because you're getting the same thing anyway, but you're just spending less money while you're doing it. So why not buy the lower skin? So Apple didn't like that, because people started buying the lower skins, and all the profit that they should be getting, they weren't getting because it wasn't being sold through them. Therefore, they weren't collecting any profit from it. So Apple basically said, go on, get up off our store. And from the information I gathered, Apple was taking these large percentages from a lot of other businesses and things of that sort. It's just that these businesses were way smaller than Epic and don't have as much power in the gaming world as Epic. And Epic basically said, hey, look. Say again?
So they're indies. That's
yeah, more like,
these are indie.
Yeah, they're more like indie devs and things like that. And they don't have the power that Epic has, where they have like, Epic has like a whole legal team they hired and things of that sort. Versus indie people, the most they'll have is a consultant lawyer or two or something of that nature. But Epic, they have like full legal teams of people that deal with things like this. So they're basically taking Apple and Google Play to court and saying, look, we're gonna sue you for all the money you took from us, like all the extra crazy amounts of money you took from us that were basically just way too much for our liking. And the only reason you've been doing it to all these other people is because they can't speak up for themselves, so we're gonna speak up for them. So any thoughts, feelings about that?
Sorry, I'm being a little tired because I heard this story not long ago. It's recent, but I don't know. I don't have any. I would say like it's a very good thing. That they're stepping up for they're stepping up for other indie developers too, not only themselves, which is a good thing.
No, I'm saying the reason. Well, from the information I got, I'm saying they're stepping up because like more or less they're stepping up not for the indie developers directly, but more they're stepping up because it's like, I'm not them. Like, I can speak up for myself. They can't. I'm not them. It's one of those scenarios is what I'm saying. Less than like how you're saying it, like they're being the noble hero. Like, not saying they not doing it for that reason, but from my information, it's more of just a I'm not them scenario.
Yeah, I'm not saying they are a hero, but even though they are a corporation, Epic Games is another corporation. Yeah, but I would say it's a good thing that they're suing them back because
No. Apple and Google didn't sue them. It's just Epic suing Apple and Google. They're not like counter suing.
Epic sue those two tech companies. That's what I'm saying.
And they more have beef, like I said, with Apple than Google. So I think it's pretty cool that they're standing up for themselves, because most people who aren't like devs probably wouldn't realize things like this. Because I mean, how many times a day have you ever sat down and said, all right, this game costs $60. How much of that profit is actually going to the company who made it? That's what I'm saying. So I think it's good that they're standing up for themselves and that they're starting somewhere with calling out Apple and things like that. So to get into some of the gaming topics we have, we want to start off with Fall Guys or T-Lu 2?
T-Lu?
The Last of Us.
Oh, okay. Let's start with Fall Guys because I haven't really played the whole thing. I played like 3 three missions, or I don't know.
3
It's on
maps.
campaigns, mostly online.
Yeah.
Like online.
Yeah, so you basically have enough.
What?
You have enough experience
Yeah.
to talk about the game, because that game, like, it's really the same thing over time. You just learn
Yeah.
different techniques with the game. That's not like a game where like it advances too much, and that's like one of the pros I put. That is very it's very accessible. Like, that's a pro and a con, really, because like its accessibility is maintained in ways that kind of hurt the game in a sense. Like, for example, one way that they made it accessible is they basically made the platforming bad on purpose, which, like I said, kind of hurts it, kind of doesn't. Like, it makes it so that
Like only.
no, I'm talking about the controls wise. Like, it's very accessible, so somebody who's not very good at video games in general, or who isn't like a platform player, can pick up and play the game. And somebody who's good at platform games can also pick up and play the game. But for somebody who's familiar with platformers, they'd go, ew, it hurts to play this because these controls feel clunky and your character feels slow. But some of my pros are that, and this one I don't know if you'll be able to like understand or see it, but this game is very content creator friendly in the way that it's designed and structured. Basically, like, I'll put it like this. Like, in terms of art, there's 2 ways to do art, in my opinion. There's the way that most people know, doing it because you want to express yourself and have fun and stuff like that, and to make money. I feel like this game, and not in a greedy way, was designed to make money, but they're not greedy about it. You know how like with like EA games, like damn near to be halfway decent in the game, at some point you gotta buy VC and spend it on the game, versus like in Fall Guys, it's like the VC doesn't upgrade your abilities, it doesn't make you better at the game, it just makes you look cooler and look different at the game. Like, that's about it. So like I
too, right?
Say again.
They have skins too, right? Yeah, you can buy some skins like
yeah, they just have like in-game money so that you could buy cosmetics, which is just like skins, colors, patterns, things of that nature. They don't have any like upgrades and things like that. Oh, I forgot to add a con. Let me add it real quick.
Yeah, because it was fun. That even when I just played it, I didn't play. It was like the shortest thing. All I played was 3. I was gonna say missions, but it was just fun at the first. It was absolutely fun. That's what. I just had a good time with that. But I just want to know what the game was like. But
oh, true. That's another pro. Like, and this kind of goes on to how like not noob friendly, I don't want to say, but casual friendly, because it's a game where you don't have to learn any advanced mechanics. There isn't like any advanced tech. There's just the difference between I know how this map works and I doesn't know how this map works, versus let's say Smash Brothers, where there's I know how to do a special move, I know how to do a regular attack, but then you gotta learn attack canceling, then you got not attack, then you gotta learn auto canceling, then you gotta learn how to tech, then you gotta learn the difference between tech in and tech out, and tech in and tech out also suffer the staling. Then you gotta learn what staling is, then you gotta learn how not to get tech chased, then you gotta be able to read tech chases, and in order to read tech chase, you gotta know what the other characters' tech chase options are and which ones they favor picking. Like, to somebody who never played Smash in their life, they'll hear all that and they'll go, bro, what? But for somebody who's like never played a video game a day in their life, you show them Fall Guys and say, look, you run, you press forward to run, you press sideways to move to the side, you press back to go back, you press the X button, you press the jump button to jump. When you jump, you could dive out of your jump, and you could also grab ledges and stuff like that. Like, if there's an edge, you can grab it, or you can grab other players. Boom. Like, literally, that's all you need to hear to understand the game. Like, you understand the whole entire game and everything about playing the game once I say that. Versus, like I said, with a game like, let's use a different game, for example. With Mario, there's jump canceling, there's the floaties, there's the different timings, and there's the different mushroom power-ups and the ways that you could use them. Then there's different tech with that. then there's slides, then you gotta learn the glitches and stuff like that. Versus Fall Guys, like I said, run, run forward, move left, move right, jump, dive, grab. That's the controls. Like that's all you need to
Yeah.
know. That's all you need to learn. So another thing I put, going on to more like the art side and the way that is designed. The art is very vibrant and appealing. And you know how certain other games, like you can only really use the center of the screen, and then the sides of the screen is like 100 other things there. Like it's HUDs like telling you all this other extra information. With Fall Guys, it's just your character. You can see other people's characters, their names if you want, and then the board. Like it's not a bunch of stuff on the side. So that's why I say it's very content creator friendly, because let's say you use a webcam or something like that, you could put it wherever. And the way that it's designed with the short form content, to where, as I said earlier, you can hop in, play it, hop out, and have as much enjoyability as you want. You could sweat and play the game for 1,000 hours, or for 1,000 hours a week, or you could play it for like 2 hours a day, like an hour, 20 minutes a month, and like it'll still be satisfying in a sense. Like that's how I feel about it. And like I feel like all the maps are fun in their own different ways. I hear a lot of people complain about the team games, but I didn't really feel any type of way about the team games and like how they operated. The only team game that I kind of like struggle with is the one where where's 3 teams and you gotta move the soccer ball in and out. I feel like that one is really hard unless everybody on your team is 100% coordinated, and that's not really an option most of the time. So there's that. And like I was saying earlier, most of the maps, they feel they don't feel skill based. Let me edit that wording. They feel more like they feel more like, yeah, in a sense they feel knowledge based. That's how I'm gonna put it. With the maps, it feels more like if you know the map, you have a good chance at winning. You don't have to like,
you have to pay attention.
Basically. Yeah, like you don't have to sit down with a notebook and write down every little single detail about every little single inch and minute of the map. It just feels like
you have to there's little cryptic messages, or
yeah, like you ain't gotta sacrifice yourself to the gods just to figure out how this map works. You can just look at it, common sense. Okay, there's a part right here where there's a left path and a right path. I want to choose the right path. I want to choose the left path. I'm not saying that's a specific scenario, but I'm saying that nothing gets more complicated than something as that. Well, there is a map like that, World Gong, the easiest, one of the, actually the 100% easiest map in the game, but still, like the hardest choice you really have to make is left, right, stop, go. That's it. And like that's the beauty of this game. It's very simple down to how it controls, and it's really just, like Caesar said, a matter of paying attention. That's it. Also, for one of the negatives, like not too much on the PS4 version, because I did run into one on the PS4 version, but I've seen most of it on PC. There are hackers in this game. And Fall Guys, like people who use wall hacks and speed guy hacks.
Like natural hackers?
Huh?
Not like actual hackers, not like you're a hacker because I say you are.
No, like actual hackers, like people using speed hacks and wall hacks and things of that nature, which I think is corny. But you know, no matter what game you make, if you put the game on PC, there are eventually gonna be people who hack it. So I feel like they should tighten up their security on that game a bit more. I don't think they should go into like into Valorant's Vanguard type territory. Like, no, I don't want to have to download something separate for my PS4 or PC just so that I can play the game, and then it has to be running when I start the PlayStation PS4. Like, I don't want to do all that. Just tighten up your security, make it so that those hacks don't work, make the values unchangeable, something. Just fix it and don't make it complicated. It shouldn't affect the players, and except in terms of less hackers. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, you know what's in the hackers?
What?
World at War.
Please don't remind me.
Because it's so old. No one plays it. Even you do, people like it's a hacker free zone.
Man, that's the last time I'll let you speak. Speaking of the last of certain things, let's talk about The Last of Us Part 2. Ooh, my transitions are ooh. But The Last of Us
Like,
Part 2. This
like,
game,
did he finish it? Did he finish it?
I'm mostly finished with it because I'm like 20 to 15 hours in, and it's only like 24 hours without like side quests and stuff like that, and I'm not doing all that extra stuff. Like if I really want to see that stuff that bad, I can Google it and look it up after I beat the game, so I don't have to worry about spoilers until like DLC or online for this game comes out. But I feel like this game, like at first I didn't like it because it takes a second to get used to, but I feel like this game is mechanically sound, like the way that weapons work and things of that nature and the dodge system. I feel like it's mechanically sound, even though half the time the dodge system is very rewarding when you get it. Like they didn't make it easy, like you just press this button and the character could hit you with the sword already, and just because you press the dodge button before they finish hitting you, you don't get hit. It's not that forgiving, but it's forgiving in the sense of if you time it properly, you're pretty much good. And like it's not like it's tighter than for any of Caesar. Have you played Arkham Knight? Like any of the Batman games?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I play Arkham Knight. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you know how like sometimes whenever an enemy's running at you, it kind of slows down for a second, and like you could press the dodge buttons and just dodge for kind of for free, basically, unless you're on like one of the highest difficulties.
Like if an enemy gets close to me, it's like time slows down. I haven't really noticed that.
Yeah, it slows down a slight bit, not that much. You will have to be looking for it and recognize it in order to know what's going on, but it slows down a slight bit. So let's wait to make it easier to dodge. Because when you put it on the high difficulties, they don't slow it down at all. Like if you played it on a high difficulty before and then go play it on regular, you'll notice the difference real quick. You'll be like, wait, why do the enemies come at me so fast? It's because they usually slow it down so it gives you more time to react. And The Last of Us, they don't slow it down like that. Except for on easy, which is how I was playing it, they don't slow it, and even then they don't slow it down that much. You gotta know the patterns of the enemies that's about to swing at you and when they're gonna hit you in order to dodge. So with that game, you really gotta keep your guard up.
Also, you have to know if everyone that have not played Last of Us, there's certain NPC that you cannot dodge or you can't fight them back. I think, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I didn't mention. Good on you mentioning that. So you could talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, like the zombies, like certain zombies, like if you go on like Google Image, like there's zombies that are so fully infested, like they can't see. Their ability is to use echolocation. So with those type of characters, if you get too close to them, and even when you're in front of them, you can't like fight them, and
well, you can't melee them. You can't melee them. But like, well, you can melee them if you have a bladed weapon and you upgrade it. You can melee them. So like, I feel like there's a strategy system in this game in place because, like you're saying, like you have to take into account what enemy you're dealing with and how you fight them. So you can't just, you can be Rambo, but you can't be just pick one gun and go Rambo with that one gun throughout the whole game. Like, no, if you try to do that, kudos to you. But this game, if you're not the god gamer like me, you're gonna have to switch your weapons and things of that nature and pay attention to what weapons you're using, because they have a lot of options with these weapons. Like for example, the revolver is way stronger than the pistol, but you can't put a silencer on a revolver, which in real life you can't either, but you can put a silencer on a pistol. So if you want to stealth kill some of the enemies without alerting too many guards, but you don't want to get close, you can use a silencer on the pistol. And I believe you can put a silencer, or you could like put a muzzle on the damn on a sniper, but I'm not too sure about that. Like I haven't done it yet, so I'm not sure of how well it works, but I believe you can do it. But
Yeah.
like just the things like that, how in depth the upgrade system goes, I like it for guns. Now for the regular abilities that you have to take pills to get, woo, that skill tree trash. Like Caesar, are you familiar with The Last of Us 1?
No, I never. Actually, no. I have not played the first one.
Well,
I heard.
but besides like the story from The Last of Us 1, because like with The Last of Us Part 2, they do enough so that if you haven't played the first, if you haven't played the first game, you'll understand enough to know what happened. But like you may not know the in-depth details. Like you might not know about like how close they really are because of stuff like Henry, whatever the gay dude was, Ben, I think his name was. Like you won't know about details like that. You won't know how close that they are. You'll just know that they're close, which is story-wise for this game, that's all you really need to know. But you won't really understand the depth of this story. You'll just understand the story.
like uh, I was gonna say like I know like there's some from the first game, like you have the Fireflies, Fedra, different like characters.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I said,
the
if
whole album, that whole thing. Like I kind of know the story a little bit from the first game, but I still haven't played it. But I'm even when I'm playing this game, like I don't what happened here. What happened to this whole world that I'm playing right now? Like I'm reading the notes.
Yeah,
What
like
happened?
except like the cordyceps, like basically zombies infected the whole world. Like unless you want to know the specifics of like how do these zombies work and stuff like that, you don't really need to play the first game. If you want to, you're welcome to, but you don't really need it. Because like I feel that the way they designed this game, if you want to go back and play the last game, you can, but you don't absolutely necessarily 100% have to play the first game. You can, but it's not required. Like if you just want to play The Last of Us Part 2, feel free, feel welcome to. You'll be able to understand enough of the story throughout the way that they tell it from the first game to understand what's going on in the second game. Like they tell you the important parts that you need to know throughout the game. And if you played the first game already and you're considering playing the second game, yes, the story does relate. Yes, it is worth it story-wise. Mechanically wise, if you played the second game, you've more or less played the first game. If you've played the first game, you've more or less played the second game. The second game obviously has some more features because like the way that everything works in the first game, it's still exactly the same. It's just that, like I said, they have more features and they offer more upgrades. Because in the first game, I like the upgrade tree better because like it didn't have as many options, but it gave you what you needed, and everything else was just like extra stuff that you don't really need. But it's like, I mean, if I get it, I appreciate it, but I didn't really ask for it. It wasn't that much of a necessity to the point to where I felt there was like a need to ask for it or anything. So it's not OD or anything, but like the way they designed the upgrade tree in the second game in terms of how you can get the upgrades, like I feel like they could have done better because like besides the finding the manual thing, which is kind of annoying, not really, because most of the time they'll direct you to where the manual is at versus in the first game where all the upgrades were basically available at the start and it's just a matter of which one you wanted. In this game, like certain upgrade trees, you have to actually, well, it's not even upgrade trees. In this game, it's more upgrade paths. So if you want, let's say, a certain ability, you have to go through like 3 other abilities first that you have to get, which I don't like because that means I gotta save up more pills to buy a bunch of stuff I don't care about or I don't really need or want. It's like, yeah, this is a cool feature to have if I have it, but I don't really care to have it. If I don't have it, but I gotta buy it anyway just so I could get to this. Like how, for example, in the first game, to get to one of the later upgrades that I wanted, I have to buy faster health kit healing. I don't really care. I don't care at all to have to make health kits faster, but to get one of the other abilities I want, I have to get it anyway. Also, real quick, y'all want to see my gameplay of it? iCard up here or link down in the description. And if you're watching it to Anchor, it's on the YouTube version. And my channel is Captain Slander. That's QAPTAINSLANDR. Same name for my Twitch account. Well, when you're watching this, it may still be QUAPTAIN, but I'm gonna change it to QAPTAIN. But if you want to see the link to, if you want to see me on my Twitch channel play it, or just see me do other stuff in general, link it down in the description for the YouTube version. But back to what I was saying, like the upgrade paths, I feel like they restrict you and make it so that you have to buy a bunch of stuff where it's like, I don't care, I don't want this, I don't need this. Why do you force me to buy it anyway? So that's kind of something I don't like about it. But another pro I have, I don't know if you noticed this, Caesar, but like, you know how in a lot of other games that are coming out this year and like the end of last year, there really have been like a lot of games where you had to fight the AAA games where you had to like fight the camera system a lot. Like in The Last of Us 2, you don't really have to struggle and fight against the camera just to see what's going on in a battle.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with the camera. Like, I'm like, oh, the thing is, I'm just worried about the NPCs. That's it. Like, that's it. I have no worries with the camera.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed that I noticed recently. Like a lot of AAA games have been having bad cameras, which is like, wow.
Horrible.
But
Horrible.
all the gun upgrades they offer, I don't know if I spoke about this, but real quick, all the upgrades for the guns that they offer are meaningful in context to the other like upgrades and stuff like that. And I don't know how, but they made the skill upgrades trash, but the gun upgrades great. Like with the gun upgrades, they don't give you 1,000 options that you don't need. They give you a few options that you do need, and you can just upgrade those specific options more. For example, let's say you're fine with everything about your gun, it's just you don't like how much it sways. You can upgrade purely just the gun sway, and that's it. But with the skill upgrades, you'd have to upgrade 10 other things before you get to the sway upgrade. It's like, come on, I just don't want my gun to sway. I don't want to shoot the gun. I don't want to try and aim and shoot the gun like this. I want to hold the gun like this and then shoot it. And like maybe I want to lower the recoil or something like that. Like just simple upgrades that are useful and meaningful that I can use. And like if I want to get one upgrade only on this gun in this category, I can. I would like that to be transferred over to the pill section. Maybe make it so that the more meaningful, the higher up the ability is, you gotta pay more for it. I can deal with that, because then I could just go, I gotta save up this many pills to be able to buy it. So let's say something costs 75 pills. That means you don't really pay 75 pills for it. You're, let's say, paying 120 something pills because you have to buy the 4 upgrades before it, the 2 or 3 upgrades before it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. I appreciate to where it's just, I want this one upgrade, I can buy and max out this one upgrade and I'm fine. Also, the crafting system, it's nothing like, wow, whoa, other games should take hints from The Last of Us, but it's like, it's not bad. It's not clunky, it's not hard to understand. It could be better, but I'm very satisfied with it being at where it's at right now. And the fighting system, I'll say this about it. Again, it works when it wants to. It's not bad, but sometimes like the fighting system will just straight up just be like, haha, no you didn't. So, oh, last note I have, I forgot this one. At first, the art, like in my first impressions, I was saying, wow, the art and the colors in this game are beautiful despite it being the typical colors. After a while, the art kind of starts to make me go, I mean, it makes sense for the setting that everything kind of looks the same, but it makes it harder to navigate everything, like way harder to navigate everything. Like when you're like, you'll see later on, but like they took kind of a semi-open world approach, and when you get to some of the parts where it's more open world and it's less linear, and it's like because like what they'll do is they'll set you up at one point of the map and your end goal is all the way across the map. Now, whatever path you take to get across that map to go to the next level and whatnot, you don't have to, they don't say you have to take this one set path. They say you can either explore all of this, you can go straight through, you can go to this one part and get some secret upgrades or some secret notes about the story and stuff like that, pick up cards, things like that. Or you can just, like, you can basically do whatever you want, but it's like, at the end, here's the end goal. Your job is to get there however you feel like it. But the map system, bad. The map system makes it so basically I can either end up where I want to go, or I probably will end up where I want to go. I'm not for sure where the end goal is at. Unless you have it on lower difficulties where you could turn on hints, I have no idea for sure where the end goal is at any given time. So that's kind of something I don't like. And this is neither a pro or a con, this is a thought. I like...
Actually, I want to respond. Yeah, because of what, when you start with go to Seattle, I think that's what it start like that. It start like it's like an open world game.
Yeah, that's the part what I'm talking about. I'm a little bit further, so I've seen a little bit more of it than you have. But yeah, it's more or less those parts.
Yeah. That's what it starts off like when you go to Seattle. When you go through like the giant fortress, Trump wall fortress. But
I'm gonna build a wall 4 years later. I wanted to build a wall, but I didn't. One Piece.
When you go through it, that's where it starts off. It starts off because you have the map.
Yeah, like certain parts, it's like you start here, you end here, you can't change the path. Certain parts are discover a way, and this is the end point, but we're not gonna specifically say this is the end point. You wanna get done?
Yeah.
So like I could really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I had something I was about to say. I don't remember what it was.
I kind of like want to be like a spoiler alert.
No, it wasn't a spoiler alert. It wasn't no spoilers.
No, I would like to do that.
In terms of the story, I like the pacing. A lot of people I've heard say they don't like the pacing or that it gets boring real fast. Me, in terms of how I like my stories and how I like to understand it, I like the pacing, but I'm okay with very, very slow story pacing. Well, not very, very slow, but I'm okay with slower pacing in the story. So if slow story pacing is something that you don't mind having in, if you don't mind having and dealing with, then the story, the way they pace this game is okay. Cause like they don't.
What's story pacing?
Like how fast they go from each major point in the story. So for example, how fast they go from the start to the climax to the huh?
Say again. In your cutscene, are you playing through the game? Like
no, playing through the entire game. Like how fast the game gets to the climax and how fast they go to the ending. Like and how much and how many story details they throw at you at once. Like just basically things of that nature. Like they didn't tell the story too fast. They didn't just say, okay, this is what happens in the story. Like they take their time and they give you enough detail for the story to be explained and for it to make sense and things of that nature. They don't just throw you the story, throw you a curveball, boom, the story's done. It's like they give you time to understand and process the story and understand the world that you're in and why you're doing what you're doing. Because this story, all right, let me break it down like this. You ever played through a fighting game story? Like any fighting game, like Injustice, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, anything like that?
I just don't know how to play the story plays. I just don't know.
No, I'm talking about in terms of theory for how the story works. Most of the time in fighting games, the story really isn't like a story. It really isn't designed for the story. It really doesn't go like, okay, this game was designed to tell you a story and the gameplay mechanics are revolved around the story. It's more like the story are revolved around the gameplay mechanics. So the basic idea of fighting games, why fighting games started getting stories, it was basically like this. People saw two guys on the screen punching each other in the face, and they started wondering like, He's punching this guy in the face, but why is he punching this guy in the face? That's how they're doing it with The Last of Us. It feels more like the story, not like the story was second to the gameplay, but like the gameplay is explained by the story. They're explaining why you're doing what you're doing more.
So this person you're playing is shooting this guy,
and this is why.
Shooting this guy.
Yeah, basically like that. That's what I mean. So like I'm saying, like for me, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. I enjoy it, but I have heard some people complain about that. So if that's one of your main complaints about a game, like the story comes at you too fast, too slow. Oh, also the runtime for this game, like average runtime is about 24 hours. So you could beat this game in like a month if you play this game like once every day, and you could miss like 2 or 3 days. If you play this game for like an hour or hour and a half a day, you could beat this game in like a month. So yeah, this game isn't too long. And if you want side quests and things like that, this game could, like, if you want to get every collectible, this game could be like 50 to 100 hours. But most people ain't doing all of that. Like, they'll find a collectible or two and go, okay, cool. And if you're a blood, bull. But most of the time, like, ain't nobody trying to do all that. I'm just trying to play the game, understand the story, and go, that was nice, dude. And that, if you just want to do, if you just want to do that, this game is only about 24 hours long. You could play for like an hour or two a day and beat it like in a month or so.
The total obstacle is that, like, I'm the minute I play the game, I'm like so hyper focused. Like, I'm trying to not get killed or get a jump scare or something.
Yeah. Oh, also that, like, this game, in terms of it, like what genre this game is, like, you could technically say it's a horror game, but it's not like a horror game in the sense that, like, people are jumping out every 5 seconds like Five Nights at Freddy. Roar! This mean just because I jumped out at you, that means you're supposed to be scared. Yay, right? Like, in this game, like, there are jump scares, don't get me wrong, but that's not the focus of the horror. This game is more scary in terms of atmosphere, and it's not scary for 5 seconds. Like, this game, it's scary in terms of the atmosphere, where you're at, like, just realizing, like, wow, this is where I'm at, and this is what's going on where I'm at. That's like what's supposed to scare you about this story, and not just the fact that, oh, scary people come scare you, ooga booga boo. Like, no.
Like, the thing is, like, the minute I play the game, like, I'm like, so, like, okay, I know I'm repeating it, like, you know, because I use the focus mechanic every time. Like, when you crouch, you know that thing, you crouch and you, like,
the listening mode.
Yeah, the listening mode, and like sometimes I hear like somebody's behind me, like, whoop.
Yeah. Oh, also, they nerfed the listening mode in this game for any of you that play T-Lu 1, but keep going.
Yeah, and there was one part you play as, like, I forgot her name, Ellie, I think, Ellie.
Yeah, Shine.
And you go to you're already in the city, and it's like it's very foggy, it's like cloudy, and you get into like some kind of building, and there was nobody there. But I went inside some kind of room, and you can craft a table. And the minute I started doing going the crafting, one of those wolf guys went behind me, like.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, whenever you're in the pills menu or the crafting menu, this is just a you thing. But, well, this is just a you thing because you don't know better. But yeah, like, you could get attacked while you're at the crafting table, or like if you're in the field and you want to like make a health kit while you're in the middle of a fight, the game doesn't stop. The game keeps going. So it's kind of realistic in that sense.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, that's just a you thing. One thing I wanted to add was, like, for those of you who may be scared of horror games, this game doesn't rely on jump scares to be scared. Like, this game, like if you don't mind horror, if you play anything horror related, like even as simple as just like it's a bunch of zombies, and like, even though they're not jumping at you, you're still scared. Like, if you're that type of scared of horror, then yeah, this game may not be for you. But if you don't mind horror and you're just scared of 1,000 jump scares, then this game, you could play it. It's not, jump scare heavy. Like it's rare that you get a jump scare. Like most games, it'll probably like give you a jump scare for every hour, every few minutes worth of gameplay. This game, you may get a jump scare once every 5 hours, and this game is like 24 hours. So
yeah, and sometimes you get, if you're, to me, because I'm a game like this, I'm like scared of zombies like that. But and sometimes you sometimes meet up with the zombies, and sometimes you cut in a few games, like the other people.
Oh, you talking about when the real life people are attacking you, and it's the zombies as well? See, yeah. And this is something I'm talking about, the fight system and the way that you can interact. See, you're not a god gamer like you, so I'll give you a pass. But something I did was, for example, without giving too much detail, I was running down on somebody, chasing them to get some information about somebody, and I was also getting chased by the guards. Huh?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I've been through that.
No, you haven't. This is like 10 hours into the game. But I was chasing her, and yeah, Shine was chasing this lady, and this lady, she used to be a Firefly, so she knows about Shine and what happened with Shine. So she recognized her when she saw that Shine was walking in the spores fine, but that's what happens before this. But what happens is, for a second, when they jump down, they're all clumped together. Like they jump down into where the walkers are at, and they're all clumped together. They don't know that Shine can breathe in the spores and be perfectly fine. They just want to make sure Shine is dead. So as soon as they jump down there, I threw a Molotov at them, and the walkers came out of nowhere and started attacking them as soon as they started screaming. And then the walkers ran into the fire. Like some of them walkers and all of the people and some of the walkers got killed when the people started getting attacked, and it was only like 2 or 3 walkers left. So I killed them, and I went to continue back to chasing her. For those of y'all watching who watch my gameplay, that's when the Op Olympics happened. The part I'm describing, that's where the Op Olympics happened. But yeah, and then I talked to her and found out what I found out and stuff of that nature. Like it's simple stuff like that, where like every fight you don't have to actually like fight and use all your resources and fight it out with everybody. You don't have to be Rambo 100% of the time. You can just, like I said, pay attention. Like I noticed, like, hey, they're clumped up and we're in a walker's nest. I mean, not walker, and we're in, you know what I'm talking about. We're in one of the nests where the zombies with cordyceps are. I'm like, these zombies are attracted to noise. If I hit him with fire, he's going to start yelling because the fire is burning him. And the yelling is going to make a lot of noise, and the noise is going to attract them. So I threw the Molotov at him, and sure enough, like I said, what happened happened. Like sometimes, like they allow a lot of creativity in this game. Like I said, in this game, you could either, if you want to be the god gamer #1 Rambo and Rambo it out with one weapon, it's not encouraged, but not impossible. Also, you can go the stealth route and you can kill everybody quietly. You can kill some of the people. Like what I like to do is I like to kill, like, unless it's a lot of like snipers and stuff like that, what I'll do is I'll kill off half of everybody quietly. Then when it's like 2 or 3 people, I'll go in and like just start beating the brakes off of everybody else that's there and that's just sitting around and alive and stuff like that. Like that's how I like to play. So it allows for a lot of creativity. You can play through the game one way the entire game, or you can play different styles, because even in the parts of the game where they kind of try to force you to play in a different way, you don't necessarily have to majority of the time. Majority of the time, unless they're making you do that specific thing for a reason. Like for example, if you're in the middle of running away from a bunch of guards that are shooting at you, like let's say they're chasing you down in a truck and you're in a car driving away and they're shooting at you, why would I get out the car and hop in the bushes where they could see me get out and hop in the bushes so that they can jump me for free? No, like you would keep driving in the car and trying to get away or something like that. Like unless it's very super niche specific stuff like that, where it's like we kind of have to force you to play exactly like this in terms of making it so that you can understand the story, then they just let you more or less play however you want. So that's one thing I like. I love how they just let you be very creative with it.
Yeah, that's one thing. And also every ammo almost every ammo counts, so you have to
Oh
save
yeah,
up.
every bullet counts. But that's what I was saying. Like, you can play Rambo if you want to. It's just not gonna be easy. You gotta work to play for in this game. You gotta work to play Rambo, because this game, I'd put it like this. Like, the best way I've heard somebody describe Hitman and how creative you're allowed to get is basically it's a murder simulator. Same thing with The Last of Us. It's a murder simulator, but it's more realistic. For example, if you want to, not encouraging anybody to
Well,
do
you
this, by the way,
understand.
I'm just using this for a base understanding.
I know before.
Huh?
Yeah, you have to understand the logic of like Hitman. Difference between Hitman and I would argue Hitman.
No.
Difference
I'm
between
saying you
Hitman
have to
and Last of
understand the difference between
Us.
like a video game and The Last of Us. The Last of Us is realistic in terms of, like, let's say you get in a shootout, right? You're not gonna
Yeah,
have infinite bullets in the shootout. You're not gonna have
yeah,
infinite
because
bullets in The Last of Us.
society is already destroyed and all that. It is very
Yeah,
hard to
so
find resources.
yeah, so there's no, and
That's
another
the
thing to keep in mind is there's nobody manufacturing bullets. So technically speaking, once all the bullets in the world get shot off, unless there's somebody who knows how to make custom bullets, everybody's gonna go back to bows and arrows. So there's not just like an infinite supply of bullets where if I feel like I need more bullets, I can go, hey yo, drop me down some more magical bullets. Like, no. Once you shoot that bullet off, it's gone. You're not getting that bullet back. That's it. You shot the bullet. It's out of here. So it's like you got to keep stuff like that in mind. And that's why I was saying, like, you can play Rambo.
screwed.
Yeah, you can play Rambo, but you got to be careful when you play Rambo. Because sometimes you have the option to go, you know what, I'm tired of sneaking around. Boom, 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 boom. And sometimes it's like, I kind of want to just shoot everybody in the face. It's not that many people here. I'm not gonna get hurt. So yeah, let me just do what I feel like it.
Yeah,
And also
like
the puzzles
the
in
part.
this. No, keep going, keep going.
Okay, so just one more if you before you speak, because I was done playing the game last night. I was playing through so I was playing as Abby. So I was going through this little fortress, I was in like this little Chinatown whatever place, and I was going through this fortress, and I saw these little the zombies, and they're getting shot by the scars, and there was a lot of them. There were like one left behind, one on my left eye, one far sided, and they're like killing like hunting down the zombies.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of them, and my I wouldn't say strategy, but I was like, okay, would I probably want to kill one of them and all of them, but
Yeah,
there's just
like
so
you
many
let
of
them
them,
kill each other
some
basically.
bullets. Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to waste my bullets, man. I'm just gonna try to sneak through. If they do caught me, I'm gonna run. That's it.
Yeah, like it allows a lot of creativity. Like everything in the environment
Yeah.
interacts with each other. Dang, I forgot. Oh, I wanted to say like two things I noticed in this game. Well, one thing overall is I noticed they've gotten more creative. For example, with the touchpad and the ability to like use gyro in the last game, it felt like they threw it in there because they're a PlayStation IP, and PlayStation said, yo, there's a touchpad on this controller. You know you have to make use of it because you're a first party game, right? In this game, it feels more like they used the touchpad. They used the touchpad more because like they wanted to. And like the puzzles in this game are like way more creative than in the previous last game. Like in the last game, it felt like the puzzles were there as padding. In this game, the puzzles organically feel like they make sense in context of what's going on in the world. Or like with the safes and stuff like that, where you gotta look out for the codes, it feels more like if you want to find the codes and backtrack and do all that crazy stuff, you can, but you don't necessarily have to. It's beneficial if you do, but it's not detrimental if you don't. Let's put it like that. It's not damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's if you do it, cool. If you don't, still cool. Also, the guitar playing mechanic, at 1. Any other thoughts or notes you want to add on?
I'm not quite sure. No, I don't think so. I was gonna do like a spoiler, but some
All right, all
you
right.
said it's because the game is created.
Well, hold on.
My
As of right now, if you don't want any spoilers,
Mhm.
go to the timestamp on the screen. Okay, now we could talk about the story. Go.
Okay, so what was that character that he's Asian?
I know who you're talking about, but I
Like,
forgot his name.
okay, I forgot his name too, but he's dead. He got shot. He instantly got shot in the face by Abby. So
I didn't get
in
that
theater.
far. You said you were in the
What?
second act. That's past the second act. You dingling.
What?
That's like the 8th act. Oh my god.
I didn't know that.
The part where I'm at is, you know, when you chase the lady down into the tunnel and like she tells you that the fireflies are no more. That's the part I'm at.
Yes. And you told me I wasn't there, but I was like, okay. You say so. Okay.
Yeah, because you said you were in Act 2.
Like I'm very far. Like I'm like past you.
You said you were still in Act 2. You had me over here thinking you ain't even played a game.
I don't know how the story plays. Like how many parts of it. Like I don't know how. I said I was in part 2.
I thought you knew because you were saying I was in Act 2, so I thought you looked up the story chapters and knew the breakdown. So I was like, okay, he's still in Act 2.
No, I played through and I'm past you. And I'm
Why didn't you say that? You still kept saying, oh, I'm in Act 2.
I don't know.
And I asked you, so you didn't play the game anymore? He was like, no, not really. I just played it for like 2 hours. Oh, lying ass.
I didn't lie.
Yes, we
you
did.
tell me a lie. I don't understand.
You said you're past
how
me.
the stories play.
How are you not lying in the part you're at? You said you're past me. Oh, lying ass.
Wow. Yeah, I told you. Spoiler.
You know we gonna have to fight. Yeah, I'm gonna put a warning in the video. But you know we gonna have to fight the next time I see you, right?
Why?
In terms of the story, how do you feel about the story? The way that they're pacing it, the way that they're telling it, like the actual story itself. How do you feel about it?
I would say it's good. I'm just gonna say it because I honestly never played the first game.
Hey, you can talk about up until where I played. You can talk about details and stuff like that. Like you don't have to hold back details because I put the warning.
Okay. Like, if I like for Abby's side of the story, like how reason why she wanted revenge of Joel because he killed his father, which he was a Firefly. So, you know, if everyone, I know a bit of the story, a little bit. If they know the story at all, you know, Joel, Abby, Allie, most of these characters were all part of this group organization called the Fireflies. But Joel sort of like, left.
But while I'm fixing this, in terms of like details in the story, the part that I got up to is the part where right after she started getting chased in the tunnel. But everything after that, I'm not aware of it, so please don't spoil it for me. Thank you. Everything up to that you can talk about in detail. Okay. So now go back to you were saying the only spoiler you gave was that she got shot in the face. But what were you saying? But other than that,
I said on Abby's side of the story, but I don't think you've gotten that far.
No, I haven't gotten that far.
Okay. Let's see. Like how Abby killed like Joel for revenge of what he did, which was the story explains after the party spoiled it.
Yeah.
You know, the game goes to like Abby's a story like goes back to 4 years ago, but you know, Joel. Abby kills Joel, which is the
Mm-hmm.
step. He's like a father figure to like Ellie. So
So she starts
he
running
got
down.
like again.
I said, so she starts running down. You could proceed.
Let's see. Um.
You don't have to
So
explain the story. I'm just saying like parts you like, parts you don't like, anything like that.
like I kind of kind of like the like Ellie like during her childhood with before Joel died like
Yeah,
3 years ago.
how they inserted like the flashbacks and things of that nature.
Yeah, I like some of those.
If I swear, if I get to a part to where they get to Abby's story, I might just return the shit back to GameStop. I don't want to play as this fucking transgender Olympic boxer. That
Oh
ass.
my god.
That's what he
I
looked
haven't-
like. That's what he looked like. He looked like a feminine looking Russian boxer.
Oh my, yeah, she does. Yeah, like she's like a macho, Mrs. Macho.
Mr. Macho. That's a guy. That is not a female.
No, it's a girl.
No, that's not a female. That is not a female. Bro got bro got testosterone. Ain't no estrogen in that body. That's straight testosterone. He can lift a truck. Not even a truck. He can lift your whole block. Like the whole block that your house is settled on. He can lift that whole thing into the sky over his head and do this. He is stronger than the Hulk.
Oh, you know, you gotta play through. You gotta play through.
I will.
I already spoiled to you once.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But
You
anyway,
play through. I don't know. Actually, I want to go back. What was the whole thing of people hating it again? Like, was it the mechanics or the characters?
I don't know.
The
It was the
story?
fact that Joel died in something else. Because a lot of people think of, oh, he's a video game character. He has to live forever. I don't want to see my favorite character die. It's like, man, shut your ass up. Everybody dies.
Like, I think it was many factors. I don't know. Like, I've been watching it.
No, because the only thing that released was the story. So a lot of people were saying stuff like, oh, I don't want you pushing your agendas on me and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, then just don't buy the game then with your dumb ass. Like, it's that simple. But, you know, people gonna complain anyway. Because the only thing that released was the story, not the actual gameplay.
I kind of like the game. That's it. I don't know. I was gonna see what. I don't know. It was like, oh, that Ellie's a lesbian, or that I don't know. Like, is it the game mechanics?
No, it's the story that people were getting mad at. Because, oh no, not a gay character in my video game. Oh no, it's like that's all you're concerned about. I don't
Okay.
know. But anyway,
Either that or Mrs. Mucho. Mrs. Mucho.
Mr. Macho. Mr. Mucho Macho. But now that the spoilers are over, any final topics you want to add on The Last of Us, or just on like things in gaming you saw, or any funny articles you saw in recent city, whatever the word I'm looking for is?
California will shut your utility down if you have a party. Yeah.
What?
If you have a party in California, or I think not all parts of California. I'm not quite sure, but
wait, what do you mean by shut your utility? Like lights, gas, stuff like that?
Yeah, your utility, your house utility. If you have a party, if you not follow you're not following quarantine laws, they will shut your energy down. Your house, your energy down, your utility.
That's foul. What if it's like my son's birthday and I want to have a few people over to celebrate? And if you're blood, celebrate. But like,
I think there was one crowd, like this like mansion, these people that were in the mansion partying and all that, and that's what happened. The cops get in.
See, in New York, the most they'll do is like they'll lock you up and give you a fine. And like really, they won't even do that. Really, most of the time, unless it's like a racist cop, which isn't like all too rare. But at the same time, in the rare scenario that happens, like even then, they'll just be like, you know what, everybody in here, go home, and that's the most they'll do.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one stupid thing. So, California is turning totalitarian. I would say probably I could be wrong, but
This man says total.
Yeah,
they're gonna revert back to aristocracy in just there and there only. All right. So for music, I've heard recently. Caesar, you got any new music you've been listening to recently?
No.
No?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's the new music coming out.
I haven't been listening to any new projects recently. It's a new artist I found the other day. Well, I haven't recommended Splurge on here, but he's a bigger artist. Dang, I can't remember their name. But it was an artist I found the other day that was pretty dope. I can't remember it. If I figure it out, I'll note it down and put it in the next podcast. But I don't remember it. But in terms of this week's month's webtoon recommendation, I'm gonna put down Winter Moon and Cape of Spirits, which from when I last read them, which was a while back, I believe they're canon to each other. No. I'm thinking about the wrong one. It's dang, what is it? They got not Tower of God, but they got a YouTube anime adaptation and things of that sort. And it was like about this girl. She was like an introvert, and her this YouTuber she looked up to, Martial Law, who played her indie game, and he didn't understand it, so he called it trash. But that game and Winter Moon are canon to each other. But Cape of Spirits is also pretty dope. I like the art. If they actually translated that one into an anime, I think it would have been a way better option and a way better investment, but it don't always go like that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of those things, that's all I got. Caesar, you said your final thoughts. I said mine. Wear your mask outside so I don't have to. Caesar, cue the outro.
R.I.P. everyone.
Hey.